Thank you. Joining us now, Dr. Ashish Jha. He is the Dean at Brown University School of Public Health. Dr. Jha, Dr. Fauci calling Florida's reopening very concerning, saying we should be doubling down on public health measures right now, while Governor Ron DeSantis said we're open and we're not closing again. How could a governor possibly know what's going to happen as far as public health going forward?
Yeah, so good morning, Stephanie, and thanks for having me on. This is a replay, I feel like, of what happened after Memorial Day. If you remember, a lot of states opened up and they said, we're not closing back down again. And then they ended up having to shut down bars and a lot of indoor dining because the case numbers spiked and people got sick and people started dying. I feel like we should have learned the lesson already, but I'm worried that we're going to have to learn it again. And worried, of course, because it'll mean a lot of people will end up getting sick unnecessarily.
New York seeing more than 1,000 new daily cases for the first time since June. What do you make of that in terms of how concerned are you?
Yeah, so two things. I mean, first is there's a lot of people who've been arguing, Senator Rand Paul argued this, that somehow New York has hit herd immunity and they can open up and they won't get any new cases. And so, of course, I think this is evidence that that is not the case. There still is a long way to go, even in New York, in terms of susceptible people. Second is I am concerned. Again, the overall New York is looking really good compared to much of the country, but we've got to pay very close attention. If the numbers get much further ahead, I think we're going to have to act more aggressively in the city to keep those numbers down.
CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield was overheard on an airplane complaining that President Trump's coronavirus advisor, Dr. Scott Atlas, is feeding the president misleading information. Do you have any trust that this administration is getting good information and sharing it with the American people? Trust is essential if we're going to get to the other side of this.
Yeah, so I completely agree. Trust is essential, and without it, it's going to be very difficult to get through a pandemic. The good news is that, Dr. Fauci is still there, getting at least part of that task force, Dr. Birx, Dr. Redfield. So I'm hoping they're hearing good information. The problem is Dr. Atlas, I'm sure he's a lovely person, but he doesn't know much about this and has unfortunately made a lot of claims that are not really consistent with where we want to go as a country. And I'm worried that his sway is influencing the president. We've really got to let the experts drive the conversation.
Well, that sway may undermine the thought that he's a very decent person, but who knows? Dr. Jha, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Coming up next, Joe Biden.